Hey there, it's Jazz. So today I want to talk about something that most entrepreneurs like yourself and I struggle with, which is bookkeeping. And if you start a business, the only way you can tell if you are actually succeeding in your business is being able to keep track of your finances and being able to see if you're actually making profits or you're in the negatives. And one of the things that I did struggle in the beginning is I didn't know what Amazon needed from me or how I'm going to do my taxes at the end of the year, especially when it comes to shopping at stores like Ross, Marshalls. I didn't know how to organize myself, and it was overwhelming because I did know how to find products and I did know how to make profit, but I really didn't know if I was actually making profit. Not to mention, when I first started, the one thing that distressed me the most is not knowing how much I'm going to be giving to the IRS, what I need to keep track of, how to even organize myself to give all my information to my CPA. It was just very overwhelming. I've done so many things like QuickBooks, I've done the Excel, where I've kept track of every expense, everything that went out and in. Not to mention, it felt like a part-time job and I just felt overwhelmed and stressed. So in this video, I'm gonna show you how I do my bookkeeping. That way you can run your business smoothly and just make profit, right? What we want is to be able to just focus on growing our business and not have to worry about the little things like keeping track of receipts, expenses, how much money are you actually losing or are you profiting. So in this video, I'm gonna go ahead and break all of that down for you. Now, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, but most importantly, please leave a comment down below and let me know what kind of videos you want to watch next, because I'm here to bring you value. And before I do get started with this video, please know that I am not a CPA and I am not an accountant. I did go to school and I did get my business degree, but in no shape or form am I eligible to give you advice. I'm just showing you what I did with my bookkeeping, so hopefully I can bring you value. With that being said, let's get to it. So when I first started my Amazon business, I really didn't know how to actually keep track of all my expenses like receipts. How am I supposed to know that I'm making profit when Amazon pays me? All of that good jazz. So what I did is, of course, did the most logical thing.
So I YouTubed how to bookkeep for an Amazon seller.
And of course, millions of people told me to use Excel, even QuickBooks. And on top of that, one thing that I did actually find that was beneficial for a second was, I believe his name is a book flipper, where you had to pay, I think I paid $175 or something around there for an Excel sheet. The one thing that I didn't like about all these softwares was that I had to actually go in there and plug in everything that I do or buy, because the one thing that I did learn from other business owners is that they do outsource to be able to grow their business so they can actually focus on what they enjoy doing. But I do want to walk you through the whole process of how I was actually able to get to this point where I'm actually good at bookkeeping. Now, when I was looking for a VA, I did realize that many people do offer hourly wages to be able to actually bookkeep for you, but it was really hard for me to find someone who knew about e-commerce or how Amazon works. So it was very difficult for me to find a VA that was affordable for myself, and on top of that, they knew what they were doing with the whole business aspect. So a couple of months went by and I was struggling because tax season was coming up and I didn't really know what to do with my paperwork or my bank accounts and how to manage all of that. And I didn't really understand if I was making profit, because I knew I had money to recycle, everything was paid, but truly how much profit was I making out of my sales? So that was one of those things that I did struggle with. And I finally found a company named Bench. Now, I wasn't going to do a YouTube video about Bench until I actually had some experience with them, and I knew for a fact that I liked them and that they were affordable and that they actually work. Now, as you know, I'm passionate about saving money, and I'm kind of sad that I wasn't able to take advantage of this, but I actually connected myself with Bench and their partnership program, and I was able to actually get you guys not only 1 month free, but 30% off your 3 months after that 1 month. And to be honest, I only got 1 month free. I didn't get any discounts after that, which I'm a little sad because that would have saved me so much money. So in this video, I want to break down exactly what they do and why I love them so much. That way, if at least you can go ahead and try them for 1 month, and if you don't like them, you can actually cancel. And it's like nothing. So the one thing that you will get when you actually sign up for them is you actually get 3 phone calls, they connect your bank account, and of course, They do the whole bookkeeping. You upload your receipts once you buy something. They're organizing everything, and if they have any questions, they're gonna reach out to you and ask you, "Hey, is this cost of goods? Like, is this an expense that it's for inventory or all that good jazz?" They just ask you questions, but they know what they're doing with e-commerce, which I love because it was very difficult for me to find someone who knew what they were doing. And on top of that, they are affordable. I do want to kind of walk through what they offer. So if you want to go into this, at least you kind of have a whole perspective of what bench is, because I have been able to free up so much time. And I will say this, the plan that I'm on, it's technically $8 per day that I am paying someone to do my bookkeeping. For me, $8 is like a meal that I eat every single day. That is so affordable if you think about it. Like, because one, I don't have to think about tax season because I know that they're going to have everything prepared for me. On top of that, they make it so clear for me to know how much I'm selling, how much my expenses are, and how much profit I'm actually making after all of that. On top of that, they help me understand like what write-offs I can actually take from being a business owner and using my house as my office, which is pretty cool because I didn't really know what is a write-off and what isn't, especially since I'm a new business owner. And I know that many people also struggle with this. So having bench around and kind of like them walking me through all of this kind of opened my eyes on exactly what I can do if in case I don't use them anymore. Even though I do love them and I know I'm going to be using them for a really long time, or hopefully forever, because they do make my life so much easier. Now I understand like the loops and the holes because they've been able to walk me through everything, and now I understand how to organize myself. So if you're not actually able to afford bench, at least it can walk you through everything for a whole month, and you can kind of understand how to organize yourself. That way when tax season comes in, at least you know a little bit of, okay, these are my expenses, this is how much money I'm getting from Amazon or whatever small business you have. And then from there, you can kind of understand what your profit is. And then from there, you know how much you're gonna be paying the IRS. So what exactly does Bench offer and why do I love them so much? Well, they do bookkeeping for the entire month or annually. So like you can do month by month, or you can do it for a full year. Now, I will say this, the one thing that I love about them is that it's one flat fee per month, and you don't have to pay them per hour. So if you need them any time of the week, you have access to a bookkeeper, which is way better than having an employee, because an employee only works 40 hours. On top of that, the plans I'm going to show you right now, I get the cheapest one, and that technically is $8 per day. So if I had an employee, I would be paying them at least $60 to $80 per day to be working for me, just 4 or 5 times out of the week. So to me, I'm saving money by having them be my virtual assistant and helping me keep my books together. That way I know how much I'm actually making and how much I'm actually losing. On top of that, if you have any questions on your bookkeeping or your finances and you really don't understand what is what, you can actually chat with them, and they exactly send you videos, links, or stuff to kind of form you to understand what's going on. If not, they can always schedule a phone call with them, and then from there you can actually just have a conversation, because they are doing this with you, so then you can kind of understand what is going on. They will actually sit down with you and explain to you exactly what all your income statements mean, your balance sheets, and all that good jazz. And the great thing about this is all of this is hands-on, because all you really need to do is just connect your bank accounts, connect your e-commerce. For example, myself, I connected them with my Amazon accounts, and they're a third party, so I only gave them access to my numbers. They couldn't do anything else. On top of that, all you have to do is upload your receipts, let them see your PDFs, your statements of your bank account, because all they're going to be doing is organizing your books to be able to give to your CPA at the end of the year. Now, the good thing about this is that they are actually one of those companies that you can work with, whether you make $0 to $1 million, $3 million, $10 million. They are able to actually keep track of your whole bookkeeping because they are professionals. They are certified bookkeepers, CPAs. They have access to payroll. They have access to all sorts of things. And the great thing is that this is why I love them and why they're so affordable and cheap to me, is because I can contact them if I have any questions. I can schedule a call on my time. And on top of that, there is no limit or time that I just can't chat with them. Now, it does depend on what you want and what services you want with them, but with my discount, if you use my referral down in the description, you'll be able to get 1 month free with no payment or nothing, and then you're gonna get 3 months of 30% off. So it's gonna be less than $8 a day if you get the cheapest program out there, which is the one I'm using. But I want you to go ahead and see what they offer. They offer 3 different plans: the Pro, which is the $479, they have the Flex, which is $349, and the one that I use, which is a $249, because as an Amazon seller, all I really need is for them to tell me exactly if I'm making profit. How much am I making with my sales, my expenses, and my cost of goods? That is all that my CPA needs from me. And that's why I use this $249 per month, because that's all I need. So basically, if you divide it by 31 days, that's $8 per day that you are paying someone to do the bookkeeping for you. On top of that, that is a tax write-off, right? That $249 that you're paying them each month is a tax write-off, because it is bookkeeping. It is something that you're using for your business. So you're actually able to use this at the end of the year because you're using their assistance. Now, before I did do an account with them, I had a couple of questions that were lingering in my head, because whenever I would open up a new account with, for example, with QuickBooks, or when I was doing my Excel, I wanted someone to actually take care of that for me, because my whole thing is I want to make money to be able to make profit and not have to work an actual job. Now, before I signed up with Bench, I really didn't know if I can afford to do this, because to me, having a virtual assistant or having someone do my bookkeeping, especially when I first started my whole Amazon journey, I just didn't know if I can afford it, because in the beginning, I was using my profit to reinvest into my company to continuously grow it. But the cool thing that I found out about Bench is that they have different prices depending on how big your business is. So when you are talking to them, you're actually able to negotiate how much you can actually afford and what services you need. So if you just need them to actually just put everything and organize it for you, you can actually lower it if you have a conversation with them. But on top of that, there's no hidden fees, which I love, because they made it straightforward, and they're like, this is how much you're gonna be paying before you even have this conversation with us. Is this okay? And that's one thing I loved about them. The first phone call, they didn't even pressure me. They were like, okay, this is how big your Amazon is. This is what we offer. If this is something that you can't afford right now, well, that's fine. We're not going to charge you any more or any less. Is this something you want to go forward with? And that's what I really loved about them, is like they gave me that comfort. And when I was trying to figure out bookkeeping, the one thing that did stress me out the most is tax season. How am I going to have my full year, different months, and I will forget things? Like, I didn't know if I would forget that I bought a certain thing, and how am I able to actually organize myself at the end of the year to be able to actually do my taxes and be able to talk to my CPA? Because if you are not organized, you can pay up to $2,000, $3,000 for a CPA to do the full year and know exactly this is how much sales you did, this was your expenses, your cost of goods, this is your write-offs, because you were so disorganized that they had to go back and track everything for you. And that's one thing that I love about Bench, is that they're constantly checking in on me, making sure that I'm uploading my receipts. All that I really have to do is just upload my receipts and then answer any of their questions. And their questions are mainly like, is this, because my bank account is connected to Bench, so they would ask me, was this inventory or was this an office expense? That's basically all they would ask me, and they organize it themselves. That when I did start doing business with them, I realized how organized and how clean everything looked, that I knew that by the time my tax season comes in, I'm not gonna worry or be stressed, because all they're gonna be doing is send the PDF directly to my CPA, and that's pretty much it. Not to mention, I was getting exhausted administrating all the numbers, because when you're an entrepreneur, you are basically doing everything in the beginning, right? Especially as a startup or a small business, you are doing the bookkeeping, right? You're keeping track of that. You're also keeping track of your employees. You're also keeping track that your business is actually selling those products that you found, and on top of that, you have to find the products. So doing all of that, keep making sure that you have office supplies, all of that is exhausting. exhausting. So me being able to find someone who can actually help me bookkeep, because I didn't want to do QuickBooks, because QuickBooks, you need an employee to be able to actually help you with QuickBooks. Or if I wanted to administrate, am I making profit or am I losing, then I would have to, of course, put in the numbers in Excel. And I hate accounting. I will say this, I love entrepreneurship, but I dislike accounting. So I've always looked for someone who loves numbers. The one thing that I struggle with the most is organizing myself. So doing bench actually saved me so much time, because really they are the ones overlooking my Amazon, how much profit I'm making in my selling stuff, my gross sales, and on top of that, they are looking at my receipts, my bank account, and they're organizing all of that for me. So each month, at the end of the month, I can see how much profit, loss, expenses, cost of goods, office supplies. It shows me my income statement. All of that is there. And the last thing that I loved about Bench is that I've always struggled with this whole thought of, am I inaccurately reporting my expenses? Especially because I didn't really pay attention to my accounting class. I do not like accounting. So me being able to pay someone $8 each day to be able to do this, to me, is a win. Now I want to end this with this. If you can't afford Bench right now, that's completely fine, because if you are starting up, you most likely don't have enough income to be able to afford a VA or someone else. But I will say this, that if you end up wanting to grow, you do need to allocate your time to what is important, which is growing your business. So having a third party or a VA to be able to actually do this for you is one of those things you have to invest in, right? Because yes, those $249 a month does make a difference, but how I like to look at it is, if I make $8 extra each day, then I know that someone can actually bookkeep for me, have everything organized and clean, and then I don't even have to worry about that no more. What I have to worry about is actually making profit and looking for someone to actually help me, for me to actually make profit and actually grow my business, so then I can have a successful business, instead of constantly pulling my hair worrying about, am I going to have enough money to pay off the IRS at the end of the year, or am I even successful? Because the one thing that is important is, if you're going to become an entrepreneur or a business, you want to see if your business is actually making money. If not, then you really aren't going, you're going to go bankrupt. And how are you going to feed yourself? And on top of that, how are you going to even survive if you don't have any money for yourself to even pay for your fixed expenses? Like I said, I was able to get you guys a 30% off for 3 months. I would recommend for you to do the first month free and just understand how bookkeeping works. And if you can't afford it, you can always cancel it, right? The worst thing that can happen is that you said, hey, like, yeah, I can't afford paying you guys $249 a month or $8 a day. But I really loved how you guys taught me how I need to organize myself to be able to show this to my CPA at the end of the year. Because like I said, I'm here to bring you value. I'm never going to be selling you anything that I'm not using. So hopefully with the referral link, I can save you some money and actually bring you some value today. With that being said, always remember to be someone that makes you happy.